Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom.
Shalom.
It's a beautiful Sabbath out there today.
Khan.
It's raining kind of hard earlier, but the most I got the sun out there, right, Con?
Khan.
Okay. Like I always do, I want to start my class off with a prayer. Let's go to the 54th Psalm. So I'm gonna read that, Mike.
Okay.
We're gonna read about 7. Okay, the whole thing. Okay, that is 7 verses. Okay, the 54th Psalm. It reads, "Save me, O Yahweh, by thy name, and judge me by thy strength. Hear my prayer, O Yahweh, give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers are risen up against me, and oppressors seek after my soul. They have not set Yahweh before them, Selah. Behold, Yahweh is my helper. The Lord is with them that uphold my soul. He shall reward evil unto my enemies. Cut them off in thy truth. I will freely sacrifice unto thee. I will praise thy name, O Yahweh, for it is good. For he hath delivered me out of all trouble, and my eye have seen his desire upon my enemies." Now, y'all know we sing that, right? Y'all remember that, right?
Yeah.
The 54 Psalms. We sing that sometimes, Con. Okay, so now let's jump into class. The topic of my class today is the curse of Canaan. Now, when we read in the book of Genesis and we read that story about Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, we read about the curse of Canaan, but it's a lot of parts are missing from that story. You see me, Bob? You got me?
Yeah.
It's a lot of it's a lot of parts are missing from that. So what we're going to do is try to make sense out of this Genesis, the 9th chapter. We're going to Genesis, the 9th chapter, and Mike, we're going to read from the 18th verse. We're going to go all the way down to the 27th verse and try to get some understanding from this. Now, I will be going into other books. I will be going into the books of Jubilees. I will be going into with the book of Jubilees, and I also read the book of Yeshua, which is the book of Jasher, and I don't too much go too far into the book of Enoch. I don't too much deal with that too tough. Okay, but we are gonna read a few chapters from the book of Jubilees. We're gonna read the 7th chapter, 8th chapter, 9th chapter, and the 10th chapter, just taking parts from that to fit into the book of Genesis, because the book of Jubilee is called the Lesser Genesis. It's called the Little Genesis, and it's also called the Testament of Moses, because the book of Jubilees, it gives the account, the historical account from the creation all the way to the time of Moses. Okay, so now when the world and when writers use the curse of Ham and the curse of Canaan, they use both, because it's the curse of Canaan, but it became the curse of Ham during the Middle Ages. It became the curse of Ham. Okay, so a lot of writers and people use this to enslave black and to enslave Negroes for try to justify it. You have pro-slavery preachers making justifications for the enslavement of dark-skinned people by using the curse of Ham, or rather the curse of Canaan, by using Noah and by using the book of Genesis, the 9th chapter. Okay, but when we read the Compact Bible Dictionary, it tells you that Ham became the progenitor, which is fathers of the dark races, but it say what? Not the Negroes. Okay, but then it goes on and read of who Ham became the father of. So now let me read a Baptist pastor and Southern Seminary trustee by the name of Iveson L. Brooks, the year 1785 to 1868. He taught that Negro slavery is an institution of heaven and intended for the mutual benefit of master and slave. as proved by the Bible. And he go ahead and say, God himself authorized Noah to doom the posterity of Ham, which is the generations of Ham. Okay, this is a white Baptist pastor. Now, another one, Patrick Mayo, 1814 to 1888. Y'all write these names down and y'all go check it out, research it, go on the internet and check out what I'm saying. Okay, don't just listen to me. Go and research and check out what I'm saying. Now, Patrick Mayo, 1814 to 1888. He was the fourth president of the Southern Baptist Convention. He proposed this: from Ham were descended the nations that occupied the land of Canaan, and those that now constitute the African or Negro race. And he goes on and said, their inheritance, according to prophecy, has been and will continue to be slavery. And so long as we have the Bible, we expect to maintain it. Okay, but they don't know the other scriptures. See, they don't know the Deuteronomy 28 prophecy. They don't know the Ezekiel prophecy. They don't know the Revelation prophecy, where the Most High said that he's going to turn back and lift up the Israelites, and then they're going to take in slavery whom they were slaves to. See, they don't read that part though. See, but they use this, and what the Israelites have been through, the Most High is going to lift them up, rise up, and bring them from the dunghill and set them up to rule this whole entire universe, this whole entire world. Okay, now, when we read about the reasons why Canaan was cursed, or when we read about why Ham was cursed, okay, because a lot of writers say that Ham was cursed, but it was Canaan, the son of Ham. Okay, now these are some reasons which I read why Noah cursed Canaan. And what did Ham do? Let's read the first one. I've read that Ham castrated Noah. And it say that's why Noah had no other sons. You believe that? Okay, but there's writers out that got that information out there. Okay, number two. It reads, Ham slept with his mother, Noah's wife, uncovering his father's nakedness. And it is said that Canaan is the offspring of that union. You believe that? Okay, but that's what they're writing out there. Okay, let's go to a third one. It said there was a sexual situation between Noah and Ham. They write that that Ham raped Noah. Ham would have been put to death, right? So that's what they got out there. That's what they write. So now I've heard that many times. I've heard that years ago. Okay, so let's go to number 4. Out of all these incidents, where most of these incidents, it is said that Canaan was assisting Ham in these acts. That's why Canaan was cursed. It said the incidents, Canaan was assisting Ham. That's why Canaan was cursed. Okay, this is what's out there. I'm just reading what's out there now, but we don't believe that, right? I don't believe that. So let's go to Genesis, Mike, the 9th chapter, from the 18th to the 27th verse, and let's try to get some sense, or some understanding rather.
This is the book of Genesis.
From this story, let everybody get it. Continue, Mike. Go ahead.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 18. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan.
Now, whenever you read in the scriptures, and it's giving you, it said, and the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? Now, when it goes on and say, and Ham is the father of Canaan, something is getting ready to go down. Okay, it's some information in that. because something happened, something went down. That's why Canaan's name is mentioned. You see that? So the scripture's getting ready to explain something. Okay, it's something concerning Ham and it's something concerning Canaan, because all of a sudden Canaan's name pops up in Noah's 3 sons. So it say, and Ham is the father of Canaan. So keep that in mind. It's something getting ready to be explained. It's something to get ready to go down. Read on.
Verse 19. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
Now, when you look at this 19th verse and you look at this word overspread, it say, these are the 3 sons of Noah, and them was the whole earth overspread. Overspread mean to cover the surface of. So what Noah did, he set up and allotted. He divided the earth up between his 3 sons, and they divided it up between their sons. Okay, so the scriptures say it overspread. They overspread the whole earth, or they covered the surface of the earth. Continue.
Verse 20. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. Verse 21. And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent.
Okay, now when we read the 22nd verse and we read on down, okay, but this 21st verse, there's a lot of meat in this, a lot of historical meat that's not there. So when we read the 21st verse, we would read it and say, okay, Noah drank, he got drunk, then he went in his tent and he was naked. Noah got drunk as a skunk, and went in the the tent, and he just kicked back naked. Then Ham came in. So that's what we read. That's the story. But there's other parts to this from the little Genesis, the book of Jubilees. So what I want to do is, y'all write this down. I want to refer you to the book of Jubilees, chapter 7. Okay, I didn't have time to get my stuff, and the brother that's on the computer didn't have time to put that up or even put scriptures up. You know, I was running late today. Traffic is, Satan is something. But I'm going to give you the information. Y'all write it down and y'all go check it out. This is the book of Jubilees, chapter 7. It reads, Noah planted a vineyard. He made wine and put it in a vessel and kept it until the 5th year, until the 1st day on the new moon. See, when you read in the book of Jubilees, it speaks about the new moon. It speaks about sacrifice. It speaks about all that. Okay, it speaks about clean, unclean, all that. Okay, it said Noah planted a vineyard. He made wine and put it in a vessel and kept it until the 5th year, until the 1st day on the new moon of the 1st month. Now, and he celebrated with joy the day of this feast. Okay, so he's dealing with the new moon. Okay, it say, and he celebrated with joy. See, with joy, the day of this feast. So he was drinking the wine. He didn't just, okay, let me drink this wine and get drunk and so forth. It was a feast day. And also, Noah came out of the flood. He's seen a lot of things. He witnessed a lot of the Most High's works. And we're going to get a scripture in Proverbs that tell you that strong drinking wine, it helps you, that you won't remember your miseries no more. So he was drinking for that as well. But let's finish this and we're going to get that scripture. Okay, let me read on. It say, and he made a burnt sacrifice unto the Most High, or rather unto the Lord. So it's sacrifice back during Noah's time. And he sprinkled some of the wine on the altar as he had incense as well. So the wine that Noah made, he sprinkled it on the altar of the Most High. So when you read scriptures, sometimes they would sprinkle a little wine on the altar, and then the Most High would just suck that up. It would disappear. Okay. Now, it also say Noah rejoiced, and he drank of this wine, he and his children, with joy. And it was evening, and he went into his tent, and being drunken, he lay down and slept, and was uncovered in his tent as he slept. You see that? So he was celebrating, okay, a feast. And he was drinking wine with his family, with his sons. But, you know, he kind of overdid it a little bit, you know, like, you know, I've seen some of us overdo it, you know, but we bounce back. It's not like an everyday thing, but we bounce back from that and get ourselves together and get right, and then started drinking in moderation. Okay, there's nothing wrong with drinking, but when you overdo it and it's like an everyday thing and you can't function and you can't do your chores or your daily duties in relationship with the Most High, then it's a problem. It's a situation. Okay, so everybody see that from the book of Jubilees. Okay, now let's go to Proverbs, Mike. The book of Proverbs 31, 6 and 7. The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, 6 and 7. The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 6 and 7. Everybody good? Okay, let's go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 6. Give strong drinks unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy heart.
There was Noah. Okay, and sometimes it's us. Continue.
Verse 7. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more.
No more. Okay, so that's what was going on with Noah. And that happened to us sometimes. Okay, let's go back to the book of Genesis, 9th chapter, and continue to read from the 22nd verse, Mike.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 22. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the...
You see that again? And Ham, it adds, the father of Canaan saw the nakedness. Something getting ready to go down now, because every time you read Ham's name, Canaan's name is right there. So it's something getting ready to go down. Something is getting ready to play out. Go ahead, Mike.
Saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers without.
Okay, so this 22nd verse, read that again.
Verse 22 from the top. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers without.
Now, would it have been easier, or would it have been more respectful, or would it have been honor in this if Ham walked in, whatever he was going in there for, but he walked in and saw his father Noah naked, and he went out? That was dishonor there, because he's probably was looking at the lack of dignity of Noah, looking at the lack of dignity of Noah at that moment. But he went out, dishonored his father. He went out and he told his other two brothers. And they went in and covered their father. But Ham, what he should have did, respectfully covered his father and kept the matter to himself. Or if you went out and told your brother, say, hey, man, I walked in, seen dad, because it was a feast. Okay, they was drinking too. So, hey, man, I went out and I seen dad, laying, he had no clothes or what have you. I just took a garment or some cover or covered him up. They would, is everything going? Yeah, it's cool. I took care of that, brother. Don't worry about that. Everything is cool. But no, something else went down. Ham went out, probably a certain spirit was in the midst of that thing, because the two brothers went in. So Ham had told them to go in and look. They said, no, we ain't looking on that. No, what they did is took a garment and walked backwards. They're facing the other way. They walked backwards and they covered their father. See, because Ham and Shem and Japheth, they dealt with the matter on a nobly level. And when you read about Ham, that's why Ham was omitted he was omitted in the patriarchal blessings, the patriotic blessings. That's why Noah woke and he said, blessed is Shem and Japheth. He gave them the patriotic blessings, but he omitted Ham, and then he went into Ham's son, Canaan. He said, cursed be Canaan. Now we would think, okay, Noah, he on that wine, he just waking up, cursed be Canaan. But what Noah was really doing, he was setting forth a prophecy. He was setting forth a prophecy on Canaan, and we're going to get into that. What was that prophecy and why it was done? Just like I said, we're going back into Jubilees, and it's going to bring that history out. So when you read about Moses, Deuteronomy 28, when Moses had set forth prophetic, messages or prophetic signs or prophetic sayings in relation to the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, before it even happened. So that's what Noah was doing, sending off this prophetic message or this prophecy against Canaan. Do they have Bibles? Y'all have Bibles, brothers? Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. Okay, now let's move on. So Ham should have just kept that matter quiet. Did respectfully what you had to do, cover your father up, and then move on. Kept the matter to yourself. Okay, that's between you and the Most High. You did what you're supposed to do, but no, you went out, told your brothers, or he probably said it in a way that is, go look. And his brother said, okay, let's go check this out. But we're going to go this way, backwards, face this way, and cover our father, and then step up out of there. Okay, so that's why Ham was omitted from the patriarch blessings. Okay, so it says, like I said, Shem and Japheth, they acted more nobly. Okay, so they turned the other way, covered up their father's nakedness. Now, read verse 25, Mike.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 25. And he said,
I'll tell you what, read 23.
Verse 23. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders.
See there?
And went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backwards, and they saw not their father's nakedness.
See there? Yeah, go ahead. Read 24.
Verse 24. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him.
Okay, now that's Ham. So Ham should have did respectfully what he's supposed to have done in honoring his father, but he dishonored the Most High by dishonoring his father. You see that? Continue to read.
Verse 25.
Right.
And he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren.
Okay, so now when people read this, okay, what Ham did, okay, Noah cursed Canaan. But like I said, we're going to get into that because Ham was omitted from the patriarch blessings. He was taken out of that. See, that was given to Shem and Japheth. Okay, now when we read about Canaan, we're going to read on and we're going to get some more information on that. Read the 26th verse, Mike.
Verse 26. And he said, blessed be the most high power of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
And Canaan shall be his servant. Read on.
Verse 27. The Most High shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
And Canaan shall be his servant. Now Shem is who? He's the forefather of Abraham, and he's the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. And he was blessed to rule over Canaan. He was blessed to rule over the Canaanite and to bring a kingdom so large that Japheth would be able to dwell within that kingdom. When it say, read about the tents again, 27 verse.
Verse 27. The Most High shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem.
Right.
And Canaan shall be his servant.
So Shem going to bring forth the kingdom so large that the descendants of Japheth will have the privilege to dwell within that kingdom. Okay, because the tents mean they're going to be able to dwell in Shem's land. That's what the tents are. Because when Israel is set up as a kingdom, they're not just going to occupy Jerusalem, Israel, and what is called Palestine. No, it's the whole earth they're going to occupy. And let's go and show some of that, Mike. Get me Daniel 7:18. And then if you can, get me Zechariah 14:16 to 19. And we're going to go back up. We're going to go back up to the 26th verse. I don't want to give you too much. After we finish this, we're going back up to the 26th verse. But concentrate on Daniel 7:18 and Zechariah 14:16 and 19. We all right, young? We good? All right. All right. I hear you.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18.
Come on.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom,
right,
and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
And ever and ever. Shall possess the kingdom and possess it forever. It's a non-stop thing. Forever is a long time. Forever. Zechariah 14:16 to 19.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14, verse 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Most High of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Right. See, so when the kingdom is set up, that means everybody have to honor all nations, all people that's in this earth, everyone that's breathing the air. Okay, everyone that's living have to pay homage to the Most High. You see that? Have to respect the feast days. That mean Japheth, that mean Canaan, that mean Ammonites, Edomites, everybody have to have that respect, because the kingdom is not just confined to Jerusalem. It's not just confined to what is called Palestine today. It's the whole planet Earth. And wherever the other nations are located, there will be ambassadors from the Israelites going to them, opening this book and breaking the understanding down, because the whole earth will have to know about the Most High. They will have to learn about the Creator. You know why? Because they don't know now. Okay, they making them out of anything they want them to be. But in that day, all nations will know who the Most High, Yahweh, the God of Israel. They're going to know who he is. And they're going to know who the king priest is, the earthly king priest. That's Yahweh Shai, Christ. They're going to know who he is too. And they're going to know who the Israelites are. They're not niggas. They're not Jamaicans. They're not Haitians, Puerto Ricans. They're not those words, bywords. They're going to call them by their biblical names and have respect for the people and their children. Okay, now when finish, let's go back to Genesis, Mike. You was in 9, read from 26 to 29, and I'm gonna get something else out of that.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, blessed be the Most High power of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
Right.
Verse 27. The Most High shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
You know, Japheth had all of Europe. It was all up in Russia until the Edomites, the whites, came in. But there was Japheth. There was Japhetic land. Okay, so Japhetic was prophesied a great blessing as well.
Right.
Okay. Now you got Ham is in their land. They got a lot of riches over there, but they're being oppressed over in their land. Okay. Now if you look at the Canaanites now, Now Ham had Mizraim, he had Cush, he had Put, and he had Canaan. If you look at all those sons and their descendants, Canaan was the only one that was cursed. Noah said, "Cursed be Canaan," right? He didn't say, "Cursed be Cush, Mizraim." He said, "Cursed just be Canaan." And if you look at it, all of Ham's sons was dwelling in the land of Ham, which is Africa, except for Canaan. Think a little bit. Where did Canaan go?
Oh, right. He's
There you go.
Right.
That's why we had to fight and annihilate them up out of there. And the ones that didn't leave or Israel didn't kill, they became what? Servants. To fulfill the prophetic voice of Noah. See what I'm saying? See that? So Canaan was the only son of Noah that wasn't in Africa. See, he had what was called the promised land. Originally, there was Shem's land. We're going to read some of that in the book of Jubilees. See, originally, Noah gave that to Shem. And look, it just didn't start with the 12 tribes. Shem originally had that land. Then all the way to Abraham. Abraham claimed it. Then to the 12 tribes, when they came out of Egypt, they said, "We're going to the promised land." But that was your land anyway under Shem.
Right.
That was your land that Noah gave you from the beginning after the flood. See, so we didn't just go in and take that, we as Israelites. No, we just taking what was ours. The Israelites were just taking what really naturally belongs to them. Right? So when the Canaanites just disobeyed and took Shem's land, because Noah had already cut the land up. Okay, Ham, you and your sons got this. Japheth, you and your sons got that. Okay, Shem, you got that. And they said that what is called Palestine or Israel was the most beautiful land in the whole world, man. That was given to the sons. That Palestine, what is called today, was the most beautiful land. But what Canaan did, Canaan went and he took that. Instead of going where he's supposed to go, he took Shem's land, and his brothers got at him. But he didn't want to listen. So now that's following up with Noah's curse. You see that? So we're going to go into this. So when Noah woke up, he didn't just wake up, start picking on Canaan. Oh, yeah, I'm going to pick on you, what your father did. No, that ain't what happened. Noah was throwing out a prophetic message, something that was going to take place, like Moses was throwing out Israel. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, boom, you're going into captivity. This gonna happen, that gonna happen, even before they did it. Matter of fact, even before a lot of them, their descendants was on the scene. So that's what Noah was doing. See, and when Canaan took Shem's land, what did he do? Put his name on it. That's why it was called the land of Canaan.
Right.
And then you got, from Canaan, you got his son was Sidon, the Girgashites, the Perizzites, the Havites, the Amorites, and all the other ites. You see what I'm saying? So Canaan was disobedience by taking Shem's land. See, that's what the problem was about. That's why Noah, hey, you're going to be cursed. And we're going to read where there was an oath that Noah gave to his sons. Remember, go back to the 19th verse of Genesis, the 9th chapter, Mike.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 19.
Read that.
These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
The whole earth overspread. They spread and fulfill the surface. They spread and fulfilled the whole surface of the earth. Ham and his sons had this. After his sons had that, his family, and Shem had this part over here. See, but Canaan went into Shem's lot. and the brothers got on him. But when Noah broke it up, who was the great witness? The Most High. So what Canaan did, he did it before the Most High, in the Most High's eyes. So what Noah did, which you know your son's going to want something that don't belong to them. Well, I like Shem's land better. So what Noah did, Noah proclaimed an oath. It was an oath, consists of a curse, that if you take this land, if you take this, if you take that, that don't belong to you, I gave you this. If you go over your brother's land, curse will be you. So that's why Noah woke up and said, "Curse be Canaan," because that prophetic saying, Canaan, he knew Canaan was going to do that anyway. So it wasn't just to Ham came in, and seen my nakedness and curse be Canaan. No, it wasn't really like that. See, that's why we go into other sources to fit the pieces, put the pieces together to let it get the understanding to make a little bit sense. Okay, but the scripture did say that Canaan will be a servant to Shem, and Shem's descendant was the Israelites. And let's go into the scriptures and read where the Canaanites were servants to the Israelites. Let's go, Mike. Let's go to Joshua 17 and 12, the book of Joshua. The book of Joshua 17, let's try 12 and 13, because when you read in Joshua and the Old Testament scriptures, like Kings and Chronicles, the Israelites couldn't really get rid of the Canaanites, man. They had a problem with these guys. They couldn't get them up out the land. They would kill them. They would flee. But some of them will obey, stay there, and they would dwell amongst Israel, and then Israel started worshiping their gods. See, don't forget that Sodom and Gomorrah was part of the Canaanites. See, they wicked Sodomites. See, the Canaanites were wicked as Hell, and Israel got caught up in that mess and started following them. When the Most High said, "I want you to annihilate them out of that land. That's your land. Go back and take it." Land is very important. Always have been important. Land is important today. Mm-hmm. Don't you know that there are people down south and upstate and in these rural places? They're at war over land. They're neighbors. A neighbor here and the next neighbor is about 6 miles down the street. They killing and shooting one another over land. No, this is my inheritance. My great. No, this is my inheritance. Okay, because they killing one another over inheritance, over land. So how do you think Shem felt when Canaan took his lot, his land? See, Noah knew that was going to take place. So he threw out that prophecy, threw out that oath, threw out that curse against Canaan. And Canaan can't get out of that, Jack. Go ahead.
This is the book of Joshua,
12 and 13.
Chapter 17, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of those cities, but the Canaanites will dwell in that land.
Come on.
Verse 13. Yet it came to pass, when the children of Israel were waxing strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. So they put them to what? Tribute. They was servants, and they had to pay. Yeah, you got to pay somebody. I mean, look at us paying these taxes. Oh, we still servants, but a lot of us don't think so. I mean, you work and you get your check. It's already money taken away from. Well, this ain't what I was supposed to get. It's already money taken out. And then when you get a job, sometimes you got to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It depends. You get paid by the week. You got to wait 2 to get that first check. You get paid 2 weeks. You got to wait 3 to get that check, man.
And then when you get it, it's taxes taken out. Then you got to file your taxes. Then if you don't, they're going to come after you. Yeah. You know, like they after me. I mean, state and the feds. Yeah. So, hey, I don't worry about that, man. I just keep pushing. Keep pushing. You know, yeah, this kingdom's not going to last forever. You understand? So these problems, we just keep pushing. Stay in the Most High and keep pushing. Okay. Now, let's go from there, Mike. Let's go to Judges 1 and 30. The book of Judges, chapter 1, verse 30. The book of Judges, chapter 1 and verse 30.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 1, verse 30.
Read that.
Neither did Zebulun drive out the inhabitants of Kidron,
Right.
nor the inhabitants of Nahalo,
Right. Come on.
but the Canaanites dwell among them.
See, that's what I'm saying. You couldn't get them. Manasseh couldn't get rid of them. Zebulun couldn't get rid of them. Now, the Canaanites dwelt amongst the Israelites. What happened to them?
And became tributaries.
Right. They had to pay. They had to serve. Okay, you want to hang out amongst us? Okay, you know, we trying to kill you now. We trying to get rid of you. we trying to move you up out of here. But now you're gonna fall down and humble yourself. Okay, you got to serve now, and you got to pay. Okay, that's what that was about. See, so that prophecy that Noah put out there, it was taken in effect because the Israelites are descendants of who? Which one of Noah's son? Shem. There you go. There you go. Now, let's go to 1 Kings, Mike, the 9th chapter, 20 to the 22nd verse. Yeah, that's 1 Kings, the 9th chapter, from the 20th to the 22nd verse. Come on.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 9, verse 20. And all the people that were left of the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites.
Now you hear them ites, right? I couldn't name them all, but them ites is in there somewhere. Read it again, Mike.
Verse 20. And all the people that were left of the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, which were not of the children of Israel.
Right. They are all those ites are all what? Canaanites. Yeah, Canaanites. The Perizzites, all of them. Canaanites, Amorites, Canaan, they related from Sidon all the way down. The Amorites, Jebusites, all the mites. Because remember when the Most High said, when you go into the land, it's 7 nations that are stronger than you, destroy them. Okay, they are related. Let's say that they are related. Okay, come on, Mike.
Verse 21. Their children that were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel also were not able utterly to destroy, upon those did Solomon levy a tribute of bond service.
See, because Israel couldn't destroy all these Canaanites, all the related, the tribes that's related to them, they couldn't get rid of all of them because maybe in their mind, this is our land. This is the land of Canaan. Our ancestors got this land, but they don't know how their ancestor Canaan took this land. It was originally Shem's land. See there, so it was hard to get them up out of there. But the ones that stayed, their generation, their children, what happened to them, Mike?
Upon those did Solomon levy a tribute of bond service unto this day.
See, bond servant. They became what? Servant. They became slaves. So that prophetic saying or that prophetic message from Noah was taking place. You see that? So now let's go to Joshua, the 2nd chapter. I'm gonna show you something in that. I'm gonna show you that from Noah prophetic message and that curse of the Canaanites, the Most High can uplift that if he wants to. And at times the Most High do uplift but he's not going to uplift that curse from all the Canaanites, because the Canaanites are wicked. All of them don't have that faith that what we're going to read about now, that this harlot Rahab had. Y'all read about her? Okay. She was part of that nation, but she was spared from the destruction when Joshua sent the spies out and they spied that area, and she hid the spies, and they said, okay, you do this for us, you keep your word, this is what you do. You put blood on the posts of your house, and we're going to pass by there. You know, we know that that's where you live. That's your family. Okay, we're going to protect, or whether we're going to spare you and your family, because she did that favor for them. So she going to get something from that, because of what she had the faith. But all Canaanites don't have that. See what I'm saying? It's just like the nations in the earth today. As a nation, they don't have that. Now you may find some sprinkled here and there that, oh yeah, I know Christ is black, and you know it's a few. It ain't a nation. And I keep this, and because you got the Edomites wearing the women wearing the dresses, the head covered. They're observing the feast days. They call the Most High Yahweh, Yeshua, and all that. Okay, but as a whole, as a nation, no, all of them don't see that. But do they accept Christ as being a black man? No. You see that? That's the key. So as a whole, as a nation, no, ain't got faith. But a few sprinkled here and there might be, and might come amongst you. Okay, like Rahab. Let's read it. Yeah, keep it in the back. Yeah, leave it in the back. Put it to the left on the deep freeze. Let's read chapter 2, Joshua chapter 2, 1-4, Mike.
This is the book of Joshua.
Mm-hmm. All right, Shalom.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 2, verse 1. And Joshua, the son of Nun, sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go, view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into the harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. Verse 2. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country.
There's always somebody watching, always somebody talking. They went and told the king, hey, it's 2 Israelites in your city. You better go check that out, man. Find out what they're in your city for, what's going on. We heard about them Israelites. You better go check it out. Read on.
Verse 3. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country.
Okay, so even the king knew that they was in a house. So somebody is around the corner watching, ear hustling, doing all that, man, being nosy, and well, that's their country, that's their city. They supposed to be doing that. So they supposed to have security. You supposed to watch. Is any aliens or somebody in your city, in your country that don't belong there? They supposed to do that. Okay, come on.
Verse 4. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, there came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were.
Okay, she didn't have to do that. She could have gave them up. But see, the Most High was working in that too. See, now when we read on down, y'all want to read on down? Y'all want to read it, or y'all want me to explain it, elaborate on it? That's what, let's read on down. Let's go where let's go 16th verse. Let's 14th verse. Let's read the 12th verse.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 2, verse 12.
Reading this whole chapter. Okay, read on. Verse 9? Okay, get the 12th verse.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 2, verse 12. Now therefore, I pray you, swear unto me by the Most High, since I have shown you kindness,
Right.
that ye will also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token.
You see that? She said, look, I have now. She said, now therefore, she said, I pray you, look, swear unto me by the Most High, by your God, since I have shown you kindness. What am I going to get out of this? But what am I going to get? See, that's what she said, and she's a Gentile. Yeah, Rahab, you look, she was a harlot. You know what a harlot is, okay? Sitting back. Yeah, that's what that was her profession. That's what she was. And she said, look, what am I going to get out of this? Because she knew what she was, and she knew that the Israelites was going to come in there, because like the sister spoke about the 9th verse, she spoke about the terror of the Israelites. My country, the men of war, fear you. And I know when y'all come through here, y'all gonna leave nothing. Nothing will be standing when the Israelites come through. They're gonna take captives and all that. Can I be spared? What do y'all want me to do? Can I help you? Okay, that was faith. And she said, I'm gonna do this for you. What am I gonna get out of it? That's what everybody should be saying, man. Look, I'm gonna give you some water. You're a prophet of the Most High. I'm going to give you some water. What I'm going to get out of this? Can I get a blessing out of this? That's what she asked for. But not saying that all Canaanites would do that, or all Gentiles would do that. Okay, like I said, you'll get a few sprinkled over here, like a cup over there, a few over here, but it's never a whole nation. Just like the Israelites, it's never going to be the nation that's going to be gathered. The Most High said it's always going to be a remnant. Okay, let's read on, Mike.
Book of Joshua, chapter 2, verse 13. And that ye will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death.
Okay, she asking the whole bundle, right? Yeah. Look, you say my father, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, and everything that they have. So we're gonna get a U-Haul. Everything. I want everything saved. But hey, the spies came in. They could have been killed. She helped them out. They said, okay, you're going to be granted this. Continue.
Verse 14. And the men answered her, our lives for yours. If ye utter not this our business.
They said, look, our life for your life. I said, look, they said, what we talked about, you keep that on the down. You keep that low. Okay, don't say a word about what we're dealing with now. Okay, if your family know, you better tell them to keep it on low. Don't let this get out, as we're gonna take you out, you and your family. Y'all gonna be amongst everybody else in that country. When the Israelites come through like a storm, you gonna go down too. But keep your mouth shut. Come on, let's go.
And it should be, when the Most High have given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee.
See, now that's granted. When Most High send us through this land, you know that we're going to destroy it, and we're going to have to fight your king. We're going to have to fight the men of war. But if you keep your mouth shut, we would deal straight up. We would deal kindly with you. Just like you read the scriptures, they could never get rid of the Canaanites. Okay, they gonna deal with her right. They're gonna deal with her family right, because back then the Israelites were men of their words. Okay, because they went under the Most High. Okay, they went through vows, they went through oaths. Your word is your bond. Okay, read on.
Verse 15. Then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. Verse 16. And she said unto them, get you to the mountain, lest the pursuer meet you, and hide yourself there 3 days.
So the Most High was in the midst of this working. You know, she telling them, look, y'all go this way, go to the mountains, hide yourself for such and such days. Now you will look at this, man, she trying to set us up, man. But the Most High was in that. Okay, she had faith and her words were true. And the spies took that, okay, the Most High is in the midst of this thing. I know what she's telling us is real, because if it's not, she got to pay for that. And she knew that she's not going to jeopardize, like what we just read, a father, mother, sister, brothers, and all their belongings. Read on.
Until the pursuers be returned, and afterwards may ye go your way.
Okay, now read the 17th verse.
Verse 17. And the men said unto her, we will be blameless of this thine oath, which thou hast made us swear.
Right. Come on.
Verse 18. Verse 18. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this cord of scarlet thread in the window, which thou dost let us down by, and thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren and all thy father's household home unto thee.
Okay, so now they're telling her about this scarlet cord. Now that's going to be the difference between her home and the others. Okay, read on.
Verse 19. And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thine house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head.
Come on.
And we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on your head, our head, if any hand be upon him.
So they let her know. You put this scarlet cord right here. Okay, we're gonna let the army know they're gonna bypass your home, but tell your people to stay inside. Now, what do this remind y'all of? What do it remind y'all
of? Sodom and Gomorrah.
No, when the children of Israel had to stay inside because the death angel was passing.
The Passover.
Passover. Yep. So that's a representation of the blood on the poles. See, so Yahushua is in the midst of this too. Christ is in the midst of this as well. So let's read one more, and we're going to move from Joshua, the 2nd chapter. Read on. Give me one more, Mike.
Verse 20. And if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit of thine oath, which thou hast made us to swear.
Okay, and they telling her now, if you utter our business, now if you put this out, we good. When we come through, we're gonna kill you too, and your family. We're gonna take all y'all out. Okay, but don't utter this business. You better keep that down. You better keep that quiet. Tell your family, don't be running their mouths. Okay, sitting here, don't go outside, don't go to the store. you know, don't go down Chauncey, don't hit the block. Meet such and such, and they pull it out of you. Did you hear about them men that came on the block, that came in the country, and you start running your mouth and something slip out? You're gone. Okay, you don't want that. Okay, from here, Mike, let's go to Hebrews 11:31, and we're going to read a little bit more about Rahab. It's going to speak about, the Hebrews going to speak about her faith. Hebrews 11:31. When you get it called out, read it, Mike.
This is book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 31. By faith, the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not.
You see that? It said, by faith, the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believeth not. Read on.
When she have received the spies with peace.
With peace. See that? So not saying they all had that type of faith now. What we read is just her family. It's like I said, you're going to have some sprinkled here and there. It's not going to be a whole nation, because the Canaanites were very, very, very wicked. They were very wicked. Okay, Mike, let's go from here. Let's go to Genesis 3:15. And we're going to read I didn't forget the book of Jubilees now. Let's go to Genesis 3:15, and we still reading a little bit about the blessings of Shem. Okay. And Shem was Abraham's great grandfather. Then you got Abraham, you got Isaac, then you got Jacob, then you got the 12 tribes. Okay, now Genesis, all the way back in Genesis, the 3rd chapter and the 15th verse, there was a blessing that was set forth in Genesis 3:15. And it speaks about a man child. It speaks about that the serpent would bruise this seed, and the seed would crush the serpent's head. Okay, so all that blessings from Genesis 3:15 goes all the way down through our ancestors, all the way through Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all the way to the 12 tribes, all the way to the tribe of Judah, all the way to who? Christ, Yahushua. Come on, let's read it, Mike.
This is above Genesis chapter 3, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Okay, I will put hatred, enmity, put hatred between thee and the woman. It's talking about the serpent. Hatred between who? Satan and the woman. Who was the woman?
Israel.
Why you say Israel? Why can't it be Eve? Okay, now this is not the second class now, but we're gonna roll on. But I'm gonna get you in that second class. Okay, so the woman is Israel, and it reads, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Now we're speaking about Christ, Yahushua. Now Yahushua's heel was bruised when he was crucified. Okay, and then it's a future tense when Christ is going to bruise this serpent's head. The beginning of it is his death and resurrection. Okay, but the ultimate bruising of Satan's head will come later. You see that? Okay, now let's get some scriptures. Let's get Revelation, Mike, the 12th chapter, and the 1st and 2nd verse.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet,
Mm-hmm.
and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Okay, you know this woman is Israel, the nation of Israel. 12 stars, 12 tribes. Come on.
Verse 2. And she being with child cried travailingly in birth, and pain to be delivered.
Okay, and she being with child. Let's jump to the 5th verse, Mike.
Verse 5. And she brought forth a man child.
She brought forth that man child. That man child was Christ, who in the Hebrew we call Yahushua. Read on.
Who was to rule all nations.
Who was to rule all nations. That's Yahushua's job, to rule all nations from the very beginning. That what he was set up for. I know we're speaking about Shem, or we're speaking about Abraham, we're speaking about a Foxshad, we're speaking about Peleg and all like these great forefathers. But Yahushua really, really, really put the spiritual and the physical work in. Continue.
With a rod of iron.
Right.
And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne.
Self-explanatory. Yahushua. Now let's go into the bruising of the head. The bruising of Satan's head. Let's go to Romans 16 and 20. Y'all write these scriptures down now. Romans 16 and 20. So I might give you a test afterwards. Why y'all frowning up at me? Every time I speak about tests, y'all get angry. Romans 16 and 20.
This
16
is book,
chapter 20 verse.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 16, verse 20. And the Messiah of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly.
Shortly. Read on.
The grace of our Mashiach Yahushua be with you. Amen.
Okay, let's go to St. John 12, 31. St. John 12 and 12th chapter in the 31st verse.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 12, verse 31.
We're still talking about the bruising of Satan's head, taking that head off. Read on.
Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out.
And the prince of this world, as we sit, the prince of this world is Satan. Satan is controlling this world. All the vibrations out there is of Satan. You got the ancient gods and the ancient goddesses are being made manifest in this earth today. Balaam, Baal, Asherah, all those gods are back. You know what? They never left, but they are stronger and they are being made manifest even more in our time. Okay, that vibration is out there. You see that? So the scriptures say that the judgment of this world, now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And that prince is Satan. Remember when Christ was in the Roman Empire, the scripture reads that Satan took him up to a mount. And Satan said, look, I want you to bow down to me. But if you do that, I'll give you all the kingdoms. Now, he couldn't give him anything that he didn't have. So he was controlling and ruling. He said, all these kingdoms, he had the world, all these kingdoms I will give to you if you bow down to me. Yahushua didn't do that, but a lot of our people are doing that today. And if you read in the book of Daniel, I believe it's the 10th chapter, when the angel Gabriel came to Daniel. He was answering Daniel's prayer. But the angel say, I'm a little late. I'm a few days late. I forget the exact amount, but I'm a lot of days late. The prince of Persia kind of slowed me down and it held me back. So the prince of Persia wasn't a Persian king. The prince of Persia was a principality, an angelic force that Gabriel was battling, trying to get through to deal with Daniel and his prayer. See, that's what happened to a lot of us sitting in here. Sometimes your prayer be intercepted. See, but when we read on in Daniel the 10th chapter, the scriptures say that the archangel Michael, where Gabriel said, look, Michael came to help me. See, these are spiritual forces. Michael is the angel of war, came to help the angel, the angelic being Gabriel, because he was battling the angelic forces of the demonic forces of the Persian Empire. See, it wasn't the Persian king. It was demonic forces. And sometimes when your prayers go out, it's demonic forces that intercept them. You see that? That's why you have to fast. You have to set them prayers up. And we got to stay out of a lot of mess that we be getting into. And we got to watch what we say, watch our tongue, language, and the way we conduct ourselves. We got to watch that too, because the scripture in Corinthians say the weapons of our warfare are what? They're spiritual, they're not carnal. It said, for we wrestle with flesh, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities of the unseen world. So that's what we wrestling with. And when we read on down Ephesians the 6th chapter, from the 10th verse all the way down, it said, finally, my brother, be strong in the Most High. It said we're wrestling with this flesh and blood. And Paul said that It's like the fiery darts, like Satan is shooting these fiery darts. And Paul gave the example of a Roman soldier as they throw those darts to enter into your heart, okay, your chest area. But Paul is speaking about spiritual darts that Satan is throwing at you. It don't enter here, it enters up here. Okay, once it enters up here, it interferes with this and everything else. It really interferes with your life. You see what I'm saying? Or in your decision makings. Okay, anger, all types of madness that goes on in life. You see what I'm saying? The way you talk or the way you react to certain things. Okay, so we went far from Canaan, right? But we're going back. I'm just giving you a little something, but we're going back. I was speaking about the blessings of Shem and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now let's go to 1 Corinthians, Mike.
Excuse me, what was that scripture in St. John 12 and 1?
12:31, St. John 12:31. Don't bother me no more. Okay, 1 Corinthians 15, 25 and 26. 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, verse 25 and 26.
This is book of 1 Corinthians, verse 15, verse 25. For he must reign till he have put all his enemies under his feet.
Come on.
Verse 26. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
It's death. That's Satan completely. Sin is gone, no death. You see that? Completely destroyed. Satan completely destroyed. Let's go from here. Okay, let's go back to Genesis, Mike. I want to get something else out of that. Genesis 3:15.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 15.
Okay.
And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Okay, we cover most of this in the 15th verse, Genesis 3:15. But when it speaks about the serpent seed and it speaks about the woman seed, now the woman seed is Yahushua, is the Israelites as well. Now, if you look at the serpent seed was the Roman army. Okay, Satan was controlling that, and the Greek army. When you read about the Maccabees, Antiochus IV Epiphanes. Okay, when you read about the woman that had 7 sons, that's in the book of the Maccabees, that she watched all her sons was put to death before her, and she stood strong. She was encouraging her sons, and all of them was put to death. Their tongue was cut out and all that, man. Okay, and this was under the Greeks. Now, under the Romans, there were crucifixions. Okay, Christ, Yahushua, was executed under the Roman government. Okay, you had a lot of Israelites was put to death under the Roman government. You had revolutionaries, the Zealots, the Sicarii. You had one brother that was locked up at the same time that Yahushua was locked up. But the people so into the earthly and carnal revolutionary mindset, they asked, free Barabbas. Away with Yahushua, free Barabbas, because Barabbas put in work. They know he was that revolutionary that put the work in. But when Yahushua said, my kingdom will come, okay, my service, this my kingdom, my service will fight, they don't want to hear all that. Just like when we out there teaching, they want action now. They want everything right now. But when we say the kingdom, they think in thousands of years from now. No, I mean, that's what the people said back then to the prophets that was out there teaching. You read that in Peter. Oh, our fathers were saying the same thing. But now the time period is just trickling, breaking on down. We are getting closer and closer. If you look at Trump, if you look at the money situation, if you look at the finance, if you look at the economy, the downfall of this system, is getting closer and closer. And if you look at the serpent, see the influence of Satan that's out here in the world. If you look at the people, listen to their conversations, watch how they act. Okay, that's Satan. It's dangerous to make a move anywhere, but we got the Most High, right? And then we see young people in these classes. That's a beautiful thing in society that we live in, to see young people that want to learn about the Most High. That's a blessing, man, because they can be out there doing that other stuff, but they chose to learn about the Most High, and that's a blessing. You know, sometime a lot of us older brothers, yeah, I wish I had came in when I was 10 or 12 or 13. No, the Most High got your time where you wanted it. There's an older brother named Mr. Robinson used to always say, hey, brother, I wish I would have came into this truth. I mean, he was in his 60s. He maybe in his 80s or 90s now. I wish I would have came into this truth when I was young. I said, yeah, but you might not still be in it. See, because sometimes you in this truth young, there's a lot of enticement out there. See, because you're going to school, you're around young people that's not into what you're into. That means your mind have to be strong, and then whoever's teaching you, they have to constantly feed you. They have to constantly guide you and build you up with strength. Okay, because out in this world, it's not easy. It's fair game, whether you're an Israelite or whether you're a non-Israelite or you don't know, it's still fair game. But continue to set up them prayers, continue to fast, and continue to read those Psalms, and continue to ask the Most High for protection. Okay, Mike, we're going to move on, and then I'm going to get a few more, and we're going to close out. But what I want to do is I want to go to the book of Jubilee. I don't have it, but I'm going to read some portions of the book of Jubilees. I want to read chapter 8. Y'all wrote down chapter 9. Y'all can look that up, Google it. And there's chapter 7. We're going to read book of Jubilees, chapter 8. Now, we spoke about that the land was Shem's land at first, the land that's called Palestine, the promised land. But Canaan took it by force. Okay, so now we're going to read some portions of the book of Jubilees, chapter 8. It reads, it says, Shem, the son of Noah, inherit the entire land of Israel. Later, the Canaanites took the land by force and were cursed. Remember in Genesis 9, when Noah woke up, said, cursed be Canaan? Okay, that fits right in because he took the land by force, but Noah had made an oath with him. We're going to read that too. Now, let's read on. It said, when the Most High divided the land between Noah's 3 sons, Noah prohibited his sons from entering the boundaries of each other's territory. You see that? Jubilees chapter 8. It say, the 7 nations entered the land of Canaan. See, those the Canaanites, descendants from Canaan. It said, which was the promised land, and transgressed what Noah prohibited. Therefore, the Most High commanded you, or rather commanded the Israelites, you must annihilate them. You see that? Now let's go to Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter. Now this in the book of Jubilees, that the Most High say, the Canaanites is in their land, you must go in there, take that land back as yours, and you must annihilate those Canaanites and those other ites. You must get rid of them. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter, and the 16th to the 18th verse, Mike.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 16. But of the cities of these people, which the Most High thy power doeth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth.
You see that? Okay, this is your inheritance. When you go in the land, don't say nothing breathing, man. That's your land. Clean it up. Read on.
Verse 17. But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites.
There go the ites. Read on.
The Amorites, the Canaanites,
Come on.
and the Perizzites, the Hivites,
Hivites. Come on.
and the
There
Jebusites,
go the Ites family. Read on.
as the Most High thy power have commanded thee.
Read the 18th verse.
Verse 18, that they teach you not to do after all their abominations,
Right.
which they have done unto their gods.
See?
So shall your sins against the Most High your power.
Right. See there? Now, let's go to Deuteronomy 2nd chapter in the 24th
So
verse.
shall ye sin against
Deuteronomy 2:24.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 2, verse 24. Rise ye up, take your journey, pass over the river at Arnon. Behold, I have given into thy hands Shiloh, Shihon, the Amorite,
There go the other Amorite king. Come on.
the king of Heshbon,
Read.
and his land.
And his land. See, that's part of Shem's heritage. Come on.
Begin to possess it and contend with him in battle.
In battle. And contend with him in battle. You don't get nothing just walking in and say, please give it to me. When we read in Daniel 7:18, the saints shall take the kingdom in battle. Okay, the Most High is going to fight these wars. Yahweh Shai is going to fight these wars. And he's going to raise up his people to fight in these wars, these battles as well. Nobody's going to give you anything. Okay, you rise up, and the Most High speaks about what he said, Mike, begin to possess it and contend with them in battle. Okay, from here, when you read about Philo was a philosopher, writer from the tribe of Judah, and his nephew was Tiberius Alexander. Y'all heard me speak about him, right? So Tiberius Alexander was a general under Titus, the Roman general. Now, this is a Judite. Now, he's the one that Tiberius Alexander was the one that laid the blueprint for Titus to destroy Jerusalem. He laid the foundation out to Titus because he was right under Titus, the Roman general. This Tiberius Alexander, who Philo is his uncle. Okay.
Negro.
So he told Titus, don't destroy the temple. Titus didn't want to hear that. Once we get in there, we taking everything. So to get back to Philo was a writer. He writes that some of the Canaanites, the Amorites, etc., went to Africa. Okay, says some of them, but they were originally in the promised land, which was Israel. Okay, but like I say, Philo, his nephew was Tiberius Alexander, a general under Titus, the Roman general. So from here, let's go back into the book of Jubilees. Let's read we get ready to close out. Let's read chapter 9. Hold on. Let's read chapter. Let's read chapter 9 in the book of Jubilees. Write this down. Book of Jubilees, chapter 9. And thus the sons of Noah divided unto their sons in the presence of Noah their father. And they divided the land, the earth. And he bound them all by an oath. That's Noah. Imprecated a curse on everyone that sought to seize the portion which had not fallen to him by his lot. And they all said, so be it. So be it for themselves and their sons forever throughout their generations, till the day of judgment, on which the Lord God shall judge them with a sword and with fire for all the unclean wickedness of their errors, wherewith they have filled the earth with transgression and uncleanness and fornication and sin. Now, Mike, when we go back to Genesis, the 9th chapter, when Noah woke and he said, "Cursed be Canaan," that's what it's going into. See, this is filling in it. Oh, you got some up there? Okay. Okay. Just keep writing it down. If he can get it, he can get it. If not, write it down and y'all go read it. Okay. But what's that? Jubilees or
chapter 9 and
well, it's a whole chapter. I just went through it and picked out, what I want to use. So y'all have to just go through that whole chapter. Con? There was 14 and 15 verse. You got it? Okay. Okay. So this is explaining to you the reasons why Noah cursed Canaan. This is going into that. You see that? It was because of land. It wasn't just because Noah woke up, falling nowhere, curse be Canaan. No. Or getting that Ham. No, Ham was omitted because of what he did to his father. He could have kept that to himself, covered his father up, and kept pushing, but he didn't do that. He went out to talk to his brother. Go look at him. He in there, So his other two brothers went in and walked backwards and covered up Noah. But Ham could have honored that and showed more respect and dealt with it because he didn't. He was omitted from the patriarch blessings. You see that? And because what Canaan did, Canaan was cursed because he took land that didn't belong to him, and Noah sit them down and said, "Curse be you if you siege another's land." And there was another curse that took place under King Saul. I'm gonna try to find it. Remember when King Saul said that curse if anyone that eat, I think they went on a fast, curse if anyone that eat, and Jonathan, his son, wasn't around. He didn't hear it. So he came and grabbed some honey and ate some honey. Saul wanted to kill him. But the people said, no, Jonathan wasn't here. He don't know, have grace, mercy, spare him. See, so it shows you that the Most High honors the oaths of like Noah, the oaths of the prophets, the oaths of the patriarchs, the oaths of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, let's go to the book of Jubilees, chapter 10. It reads, Ham and his sons went into the land which he was to occupy, which he acquired as his portion in the land of the south. And Canaan saw the land of Lebanon. See, that's all around Israel. To the river of Egypt, that it was very good, and he went not into the land of his inheritance. That's Jubilees chapter 10. It say, he went not into the land of his inheritance to the west, that is to the sea, and he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, westward and eastward from the border of Jordan. Okay, that's over in the area too. And from the border of the sea. And Ham, his father, and Cush, and Mizraim, his brothers, said unto him, this Canaan, thou hast settled in a land which is not thine, because it was Shem's land, and which did not fall to us by lot. Do not do so, for if thou do so, thou and thy sons will fall in the land and be accursed through sedition. You see that? There was rebellion. You see? Okay, so from here, I got some more of Jubilees chapter 10. It said, for by sedition ye have, see, they still talking to Canaan, his brothers. It said, for by sedition ye have settled, and by sedition will thy children fall, and thou shalt be rooted out forever. Dwell not in the dwelling of Shem, for to Shem and to his sons did it come by their lot. Cursed art thou, and cursed shalt thou be beyond all the sons of Noah, because Canaan was the only one that was cursed out of the sons of Ham. You see that? And it reads on, it say, by the curse by which we bound ourselves by an oath in the presence of the holy judge. And Most High was over this thing as Noah was given it. And in the presence of Noah, our father, Canaan did not listen. Okay, now I want to get a few more scriptures, and we're gonna close. Let's get a few more scriptures on the promised land that it actually belongs to Israel. That was from the beginning, from Noah, Shem, all the way. Let's go to Isaiah, Mike. Let's go to Isaiah 60th chapter. Isaiah, the 60th chapter. (21 and 22). Isaiah, the 60th chapter, 21 and 22. Isaiah, the 60th chapter, verse 21 and 22.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever.
See?
The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be
So
glorified.
the Israelites are going to inherit that area, that land forever. Read on.
A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Most High, will hasten it
Okay, let's go to
in his time.
let's try Isaiah 57. See if I want that or not. 57 and 13. Isaiah 57 and 13. Read that, Mike.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 57, verse 13. When thou criest, let thy companies deliver thee, but the wind shall carry them all away.
Okay.
Vanity shall take them.
Right. This is the Israelites that don't trust in the Most High. Read on.
But he that putteth his
But
trust
he that putteth his trust in the Most High. Read on.
in me. Wait.
Go ahead.
Hold on. But he that putteth his trust in me shall possess the
Shall
land
possess the land. Read on.
and shall inherit my holy mountain.
Right. Okay. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 28. Genesis chapter 28, and we're going to read 13 to 15, Mike.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 13. And behold, the Most High stood above it and said, I am the Most High power of Abraham, thy father, and the power of Isaac.
Read the 12th verse.
Verse 12. And he dreamed, and behold,
Read the 10th verse.
this is the book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 10. And Jacob went out from Bathsheba and went towards Haran.
Right.
Verse 11. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillow, and lay down in that place to sleep.
Right. Come on.
Verse 12. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of the Most High ascended and descended on it.
Okay, so when Jacob went to sleep, he began to dream. And he dreamed, behold, a ladder was set on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of the Most High was ascending and descending on it. And this ladder, all the way from Jacob's time, was a representation of Christ. It was a representation of Yahushua, because Yahushua is going to mention that the angels are going to be descending and ascending upon him. Let's go to John 1:51, Mike. And this is my last scripture. John 1:51.
This is the book of John, chapter 1, verse 51.
Come on.
And he said unto him, Verily, verily, I said unto you, hereafter ye have seen heaven open.
Ye shall.
Sorry, ye shall see heaven open.
This is Christ speaking. Yahushua, read on.
And the angels of the Most High ascended and descended upon the Son of Man.
The Son of Man. But then you go back to Genesis. That's what Jacob saw. Okay, that's what that ladder was. Jacob already knew about Yahushua. Isaac knew about it. Abraham knew about it. Okay, if you read about the ancestors, Shem, Noah, all those forefathers knew about Yahushua, even before anything was written of it. You know, they knew the prophets, the Old Testament prophets, prophesied about him. There's a scripture in 2 Peter, I believe. It's in one of the Peters where it speaks about that the angels is looking into some of the information that we're getting. You know, they're not like us. You know, they on a whole nother level. Okay, but it speaks about that the prophecies of Yahweh wasn't for their time, it's for our time. Okay, you can find that in Peter. I don't know exactly what chapter, what verse it is, but Peter said that the prophecies is of our time. It wasn't for the prophet's time, even though the prophets wrote about it. You see what I'm saying? Okay, but we can ready to close, but I do want to mention, like I was saying, the Canaanites occupied what is called Palestine. They was in the promised land, and they wasn't in Africa. Now, my earlier years as an Israelite at 125th Street, we was taught that the Canaanites were the South Africans, because you see what they're going through. They're like a servant to the Africans, the whites that's over there now. Okay, but then reading on, you know, my later years reading on, I read and finds out that the Canaanites, they was occupying Lebanon, they was all over around Jordan, they was all around Jerusalem and so forth, because it was called the land of Canaan. They named it after themselves. You see that? So they was in all those areas around Syria. They was over there too. Now what I read that is some still there. So now you may ask me, well, who are the Canaanites? Where are they? Well, what I've read is, I'm looking at maybe some of the people that's in Lebanon calling themselves Canaanites. Okay, because the Canaanites was in that area. Okay, maybe some of them over there calling themselves Amorites because they occupied that area. You see my point? I'm just speaking as a man. So go do some research on it, and let's get some sense out of it. Let's get some understanding from it, because they were in Lebanon, they were in Jordan, and they find in Canaanites archaeology over in Lebanon, over in Jordan, over in Syria. Okay, because they was in that area. You know, now if they went over to Africa, okay, that's something we have to look into. Or they stayed, because they always hung out with the Israelites. We just read that, right? So they was always amongst us, and they were servants. So a lot of them stayed in that area that you got something for me to read?
Is it First Peter 1 and 12?
Let's try that.
Let me see. First Peter 1 and 12.
And then we're gonna wrap things up, and we're gonna close with this. Take a break, and then get ready for the bad news in this second class.
This one is about the angels looking into. But you say the angels look into.
Yeah, read that. We can go with that. Too.
This is First Peter chapter 1 verse 12. Unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves,
Right. That's the prophets.
but unto us.
The prophet, what the prophets wrote, what they prophesied was what prophesied about Yahweh and on into our time. See, it said not themselves. Go ahead.
They did minister the things which are now reported unto you,
right,
by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Holy Spirit.
That's what Peter is saying. Okay, what the prophets written, okay, about Yahweh and what's going to take place, we are teaching that to you now. And when we in the streets teaching, we say the same thing. Okay, what the prophets written, we're telling you now. Okay, Deuteronomy, you know, all the bondage scriptures. Okay, Moses prophesied that. Okay, the prophet Isaiah, when it speaks about Isaiah the 2nd chapter, when it said all nations is going to flow into Jerusalem, said Zechariah, when it speaks about the nations going to grab the skirt or the hem of a garment of one that's a Jew, and said, teach us. We heard that the Most High is with you. This is going into our time. I mean, and in the future. See, because that's going to happen. because the people are going to want to know what's going on. They want to know that now. What's happening with this money? What's happening in this society? What's going on with, people are not afraid to kill. It's a delight to kill. It's an honor to kill with no problem. No problem. A life is nothing in this day and time, brothers and sisters. You see what I'm saying? Finish up, read, Mike.
Sent down from heaven, which things the angel desire to look into.
Right, because the angels is on, the angels, they just do the will of the Most High, carry out prophecy, thundering, working people's minds, so this is for us, people. The angels not involved in relationships. When we want to cut all up and, get intimate and all, and everything, get intimate. Okay, that's our thing. Have a little wine or what have you. But the angels is beyond that. Their glory, their joy, their feel good is doing the will of the Most High. See, but our feel good is on this little earthly level. And then once that done, it's over with. You gotta readjust yourself and re-crank up, right? So the angels on a whole nother level. And with that, brothers and sisters, I say Shabbat Shalom, and we're going to close with this. Now get ready for that second class. Yeah. Okay, Yahweh, are we done?